shit. Majespecter. I also made it to play with this deck. I made it to play with this deck the first season. It was very similar to this exact list. It was 47 cards, and it was playing like a different trap here, but I just decided I wanted Compulse. And I think I was only playing one of this. I was playing like 2 Pendulum Reborn or something, and I was only playing 2 of the Field Spell. But I decided to max out on the 3rd Desires, so I don't want to banish my entire fucking deck. So because of that, I went up to 50 cards from either 45 or 46, right? And even when I did, this deck still seemed to work just fine. Let's get into the card by card. First of all, I'm going to say the same thing about the last deck, which was Magical Musketeers. I think that if you are not playing some sort of hard going first deck that only wants to die roll your opponent out of the game, you should be playing Ash and Maxi, or Ash and Imperm, or Ash and Valor, or Forbidden Droplet and Ash, or Forbidden Droplet and Valor. You need board breaking cards. You cannot, and you should not, play the game expecting your opponent to allow you to combo, okay? Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the card game where your opponent wants to cheat you out of as many actions on your turn as they can, and play as much on your turn as they can. Do not allow them to. Slow them down. Bring down the game to your pace. Or be a super crazy combo deck, draw Called by the Grave, do your full combo and still have that Maxi in hand afterwards so your opponent can't play the game and they just have to scoop. Anyways, I digress. Let's move on to the card by card of the Majespecter card. Playing 3 Nekomata, this is a Wind Spellcaster Pendulum effect monster, level 3. When this card is normal special summoned, you can have 1 Majespecter card from your deck to your hand during the end phase of the turn. A little slow, but it's needed. You just have to play as many Majespecter names as you can. Majespecter Bambuku. This card is fucking brutally broken. This card is so broken, in fact, that the card that is better than this, but is searchable by this, is banned. We do not have Majespecter Unicorn Kirin, and I'm going to blame Bambuku forever. When this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Majespecter monster from your deck to your hand. You can only activate this effect once per turn. All of them share this exact same bottom line of text. Cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. All of them. So, no torrential tributes. No jamming waves, no afterburner, no Shirag. I think Shirag targets, right? I don't fucking know. I think Shirag targets. Let's hope Shirag. If Shirag doesn't target, I'm sorry. All right, no Shirag, hopefully. For all of your Majespecter monsters, they're very tiny. And if you haven't noticed, Shirag doesn't target. Why the fuck doesn't that card target? What the fuck? Anyways, if you haven't noticed, all of our cards are very small, but they're also really low rarity. This deck is extremely budget, minus the cards that you're going to be using to non-target banish, smile. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. Minus the cards that are going to be put into every deck, like, you know, your draw card, which the draw card of in this choice is Pot of Desires, and then your hand traps, right? Let's move on to the next monster, which is Majespecter Yada Crow. Majespecter Crow Yada, level 4, Wind Spellcaster Pendulum effect. When this card is normal special summon, you can add 1 Majespecter spell card from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Majespecter Crow Yada once per turn, allowing you to get into your spell cards, right? So these two add any card. This specifically adds a spell. The next one, QB, essentially the same thing, but a little bit stronger, and adds the trap cards from your deck to your hand. I don't know if you've noticed, but all of these are Ash bait, which is a little unfortunate when you really think about it, but the last card is not Ash bait, which is very good. Ogama, probably the best of both worlds when it comes to the Majespecter monsters. When this card is normally special summoned, you can set 1 Majespecter spell trap directly from your deck, but it cannot be activated this turn. Unfortunate. It'd probably be broken if you can activate that turn. You can only use this effect of Majespecter Toad Ogama once per turn. Cannot be destroyed by your opponents. Cannot be targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects. So same line as on the rest of them, and we're playing 3 of that. So we're maxed out on every single Majespecter name because we really just want to see a monster. And then for the Majespecter spells and traps, which we'll get into right now before we move on to the other cards in the deck, we are playing 2 Storm Tribute, 1 Majespecter, 1 Wind Spellcaster monster. They're all going to show that first line of text. Tribute 1 Wind Spellcaster monster. Target 1 monster your opponent controls. Shuffle it into the deck. 2 of that. 2 Cyclone. Tribute 1 Wind Spellcaster monster. Then target 1 monster your opponent controls. Destroy it. 1 Sonics. Target 1 Majespecter monster you control. Until the end of this turn, its attack and defense become double its current attack and defense. Also, any battle damage it inflicts is half. This is how you get over big monsters. Because unfortunately, this deck has a problem where all their monsters are fucking puny and you can't kill anything without this card. Most of the time. Hey, what up, Oreo? How you doing? And then the last 3 Majespecter cards are traps. At least by name, at least. So, Majespecter Tornado. We're playing 3 of this. Tribute 1, win spellcaster monster. Target 1 monster your opponent controls, banish it. This is very good against Eldritch. This is very good against Golden Lord. If you can establish this, like 2 of these in rotation against Golden Lord, they just lose the game. Because they cannot keep a Golden Lord on the field, which means Kant can't pop anything. And if Kant can't pop anything, the deck fucking sucks. What are you gonna do? Skill drain me? Sure, I'm going to keep popping things. I don't care. Majespecter Tempest. When a monster's would be special summoned or a monster effect is activated. So this is essentially a Solemn Strike. Tribute 1, win spellcaster monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Very good. The last Majespecter card by name is Majespecter Supercell. While you control a Majespecter card in your Pendulum Zone, the activation and effects of Majespecter cards on your side of the field cannot be negated. So this is how you stop people from ashing you. This is how you stop people from, I think it's just Ash. I think you just have to worry about Ash and about like people stopping your spells and traps, which is very important. Once per turn, you can target 5 Majespecter cards in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, then draw 1 card. This is used to recycle your Majespecter spells and traps in a grind game, and also allows you to kind of stop your opponent from negating your cards, which is very good. It's almost like a multi-roll, but not as good. So if you're playing Sky Striker, don't think this card's as good as yours. This card sucks. And then for some non-engine cards, we're playing 3 Pot of Desires, banish 10, draw 2. Cool, we're playing 50 cards. Who cares? 3 Summon Storm. Pay 800 life points, Klee style. Special summon 1 level 6 or lower wind monster from your hand during the main phase, except the turn this card is sent to the graveyard. You can banish this card and special summon 1 level 4 or lower wind monster from your hand. You can only use this effect of Summon Storm once per turn. So if you draw multiples, you can use the first effect multiple times, but you can only use the second effect once. The second effect also does not cause you to have to pay any life points. So if you get into like Bunbuku and you have like multiple traps or whatever already, a lot of times you want to Bunbuku for another monster and then summon storm out said monster so that you can just sit on multiple interruptions. Right? Majesty's Pegasus. All Majespecter monsters on the field, which means if you're playing a mirror match, this buffs your opponent's monsters. Gain 300 attack and defense. You can tribute 1 wind spellcaster monster, special summon 1 level 4 or lower Majespecter monster from your deck. You can only use this effect of Majesty's Pegasus once per turn. This card's really good because you can turn 1 Majespecter monster into any other monster you want. Opened Cat and Pegasus, cool. Go ahead and use that Pegasus to get a Mabuku. Use that Pegasus to get an Okama or a Fox or a Yada. Whatever you need for the situation. Usually this is going to be one of those great going first cards. And then we're playing the 1 double or nothing because this card's sick in any deck that plays rank 4s. You should probably be playing double or nothing just to end the game because it's fucked up. 3 Compulse. Target 1 monster on the field, return that monster to the hand. And 3 Pendulum Reborn. Special summon 1 Pendulum monster from your extra deck or 1 Pendulum monster from your graveyard. That's it. So the reason why we're playing 3 Pendulum Reborn is because 1, we're playing a 50 card deck and we're playing 3 Pot of Desire, so we're likely to banish at least 1. But if we see this card and we tribute a Majespecter monster during our opponent's turn, we can get it back during their turn to either block an attack or during the end phase to continue to get more Majespecter monster pluses, which is very good. This card essentially 1-for-1s you, but that 1-for-1 turns into a +1 off of whatever Majespecter you decide to summon. Bro, you should join our weekly for this? Probably not. If I don't play in tournaments for my main game, which is Soul Calibur, what the fuck makes you think I'm going to play in tournaments for best of 1, no siding deck? Love the layout, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate that. The extra deck really doesn't matter. The only cards, once again, that I saw myself going into whenever I was playing this deck and made it to plat last season, so in January, was Lightning Chidori. Very powerful card. You don't need to make it, but if you do, it's 1 extra super rare on top of the 3 supers, 4 supers you're crafting with Utopia Double. Where the fuck is my Utopia Double? There it is. Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine, very good card once again. Abyss Dweller came in handy a little bit whenever we're trying not to let them trigger cards off of Cyclone. And then, of course, the Utopia Double package. So Utopia and Utopia Double to close out games. We used to run SC6. It just took too long. That game shouldn't take that long. That's crazy. Yeah, I wish I still had some replays from this deck. Unfortunately, you know how to share decks? No, I have 0 clue. Sorry, Okano. I have 0 clue. I wish I still had replays of this deck. I think there's a few on YouTube. Maybe me playing against like Eldritch and Sky Striker with this deck during the first month of the game or the first 2 weeks of the game. And we did relatively well. That specific season, January, we piloted Majespecter and Yosenju all the way from rookie all the way up to platinum. And then when we got to platinum, we played Prank Kids because I was tired of losing. Anyways, these were the 2 decks this was one of the 2 decks in the first season that I used to get to platinum. Another perfect example of whatever you play, as long as you play it well, you can make it to platinum. Once you get to platinum, all bets are off. Decks are a little crazier, they're a little scarier. You're gonna have to play more cards to beat the meta. But before that, you're gonna have to be able to, you know, you can pretty much play whatever you want, which I think is really, really cool. And if you're watching this on the YouTubes and you like this little budget deck I just showed you, this is a very, very, very cheap deck, except for the staples, which you should be crafting anyway. Drop a like on the video, subscribe, tell me what other budget deck you would like me to cover, and don't say True Draco in the comments down below. This is Beanie Thuggish for the YouTubes, signing out. Peace.